store, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
May the 4th is upon us, and of course, it falls on a weird spot for our recording. This is the Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's almost Star Wars Day.
Right.
Lots of good happenings going on locally for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Local brewery is doing a Star Wars trivia night.
Ooh.
I was like, wait, Star Wars and beer?
Right. This is right up your alley.
This is nothing as good has ever happened to me.
Nice.
No, it's pretty fantastic though. It's a pretty cool event. Small town, so it really kind of blows me away. So it's not usually a small town like stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. That's usually more populated areas do this sort of thing. But hey, do it up. Go represent.
Yeah. Normally a small town's like, what are we gonna get? Like 3 Star Wars fans in the year? It's like that'll still be like what, 32nd of our population,
right?
So yeah, it's cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
New shows coming out. We got Visions Volume 2. That's exciting.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. Not much to say on it other than like what I've seen so far is very different from Volume 1.
Yeah. We mentioned that before. How the animation styles are very different. So, you know, in particular the Wallace and Gromit style animation, but it'll be curious to see how that all pans out and what it looks like. That's for sure.
Yep, for sure. And also getting another one of those Simpsons Star Wars episodes.
Oh, okay.
Those shorts.
Yep.
So you're getting Maggie Simpson in Rogue, Not Quite One.
Not quite.
So I'm assuming this will be like the last one. It'd be kind of cute.
Right.
And of course, I mentioned in the opening that it kind of falls on a weird day for us, right?
Right.
Because when you end up listening to this, Star Wars Day will have come and gone.
Yes. That is true.
So it's what it is, but so that's why we're kind of not talking about it like, oh, breaking news.
Yeah. This is upcoming.
By the time you hear this, you know.
And you've probably already watched some of this stuff, yes.
As far as like all the other Star Wars Day deals, there's not a ton going on. There's a lot of deals, right? On current merchandise. I don't see a lot of new offerings. That doesn't mean anything, though. I mean, time and time again, you wake up on May 4th and there's something released that you had no idea was coming.
True. It's always a good day to check out the collecting side of things, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So, and you never know. I mean, I think one of the just TNT or something like that. One of the channels is doing like a Star Wars marathon.
Oh yes, I did see that. They're starting on the 4th and going all weekend.
Yep.
I think that's what they're doing. It's TNT or TBS or something. Yeah, one of them. I don't know.
One of them.
Yep.
I saw it during hockey, so.
Right. I noticed it as well.
I was like, I kind of want to watch it.
I know.
Kind of take me back a little bit to.
It's so ridiculous because you'll end up watching that and having all those commercials in there, having a Star Wars movie take 3 hours to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get through 2 commercial breaks. I'll pull out the Blu-ray, throw it in there, and say, screw that.
Right.
Where was I?
Yeah.
Or even better.
Yeah.
Just hit the Disney Plus button on my remote.
I was going to say that because that would be so much easier. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought about giving it a go, a little nostalgia, right?
Right.
Because nostalgia sells, man.
Yes. Nice segue.
Isn't it? So, it was a big weekend this past weekend because Return of the Jedi returned to theaters.
Right.
For its 40th anniversary re-release.
Yep.
And these numbers really blow me away because it ended up 5th over the weekend.
5th place. Yes.
5th place.
A 40-year-old movie. Yes.
A 40-year-old movie brought in $4.7 million at 475 theaters.
I was going to say that was the other thing about this is that it was a very limited run in what theaters it was playing at.
Yeah, I really wanted to go, but there was literally nothing within 30 minutes.
Right.
The nearest one to me was like 48 minutes away.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Then it got close to time. It's like, I ain't driving 45. Like, I really wanted to go. I really would have loved to have seen this in theaters.
Right.
Haven't really had a chance to see the original trilogy films in theaters.
Gotcha.
So, ironically, I think the only one I saw during the special edition release was Return of the Jedi. So, yeah, this wouldn't even be knocking one off a...
Oh, I see. Yeah, I saw all of them back then.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I grew up in the house with my dad's like, I got Return of the Jedi right here.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you got to go to the theater for? Because it's cool. Yeah.
And like, and the funny thing is like at that time, like a movie theater ticket was like $4.75 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So like it's not like it was that big a deal in hindsight, you know.
Right.
I mean, granted, I know inflation, all that stuff. $4.75 then is, you know, like $45 now, whatever.
Yeah. I will say, back then, you know, I was, you know, only been married a couple years, and you know, trying to get into our first house, and you know, making something in a single digit per hour wage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, well, okay, we're gonna be broke for the next week or two, but I gotta go do this.
I had to work 2 hours to get the ticket
Yep.
and some popcorn.
Right.
Another half hour to get a drink.
Yeah. And when they came out, if I remember correctly, they came out like 3 months in a row or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah. So
I just remember they came out before I had a job.
right.
Because when did they come out? They came out in
97, I believe.
97. Okay, maybe. Did I have a job yet?
I don't know. Were you graduated yet?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was married. Shut up.
97, dude. I was 13.
Oh. Okay. You probably didn't have a job.
I was doing work, but I did not have a job because I was not legal.
Oh, okay.
15 was the legal age to have a job.
Okay.
But I did the typical kid thing and earned money, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely had lower wages than
right. Oh.
And honestly, that was before my Star Wars fandom was super, super high gear.
Okay.
I mean, that was really the prequels for me when that took off.
Right.
So,
you had a couple years to go on that then.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I mean, I was a fan, grew up with it, right?
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, the prequels is when I got really into Star Wars.
Right on.
So yeah, I mean that's amazing numbers though, and I really hope they like take a look at this and like maybe we should do another weekend.
You know, they could probably do this every year, and it's 4.7 million. You said,
yeah,
they could do this every year with each one of the original trilogy and go into the prequels. I mean, just you know, it costs them nothing to do it, really.
Right, and consider this, just so like people don't get burned out on it. You could just do one film a year,
right?
Re-release for a weekend or 2 weekends.
Yep.
You know, and yeah, you're just going to keep adding to the total gross of these films.
Yeah.
You're not going to have empty theaters.
It would be enough to get people looking forward to doing this. You know, they could make a tradition out of it. You know?
Yeah.
For the next 9 or 10 years, if you release one a year, you got something to look forward to. You know it's going to happen, you know?
I like how you said 9 or 10.
Do you throw Rogue One in there? You know, hey.
Huh?
Do you throw Rogue One in there? I mean, you could, right?
Yeah.
So that would make 10. There's no way I'm saying Solo. Sorry.
I thought you were bouncing around between Solo and The Last Jedi.
Oh, stop it. Oh,
that's why you said 9 or 10. So you got 9. You leave out.
Oh, that's too funny.
I figured Solo was the one on the cusp for you.
Well, you kind of have to put The Last Jedi in there. It's in the episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just laughed. Like, you know, there's 11, right?
Yeah, well.
Oh, you were leaving out those two and you were wanting a Clone Wars movie, right?
Oh, she totally put that one on. Yeah. That'd work.
Yeah, I mean, it'd work. You might have trouble getting people to that one.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, in hindsight, maybe not as much as if you didn't have the Clone Wars in between there. Because I think a lot of people look at it a little differently because of the Clone Wars.
Like in a good way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, okay, it was the launching pad. Like,
right. Yeah.
It's okay that it was a little ridiculous.
Yes.
You know? I mean, look at some of the episodes we sat through, right? Like,
right.
I mean, some of the episodes made the movie not so bad.
Yeah, that's true. But as a whole, Clone Wars was awesome.
Yeah. All right. I got one more May 4th thing.
Okay.
Doug, it's time to take a quiz.
Oh, God.
Yep. StarWars.com, man. They do these quizzes. And I was like, I want to give Doug this quiz.
Great.
Because I think this could end up being fantastic.
Oh, sure. You're just going to try and humiliate me.
The quiz is, which Star Wars movie should you watch on Star Wars Day?
Oh.
Yeah.
It depends.
I'm going to laugh my ass off if you get...
You should watch the one that you need to see.
Right. I'm with you. Like, hey, which one makes you happiest?
Right.
That's the one you should watch.
Yeah. Whichever one you're in the mood for.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're all watching Rogue One, right?
That would be a good one. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Let's kick this thing off here. Ooh, we got lots of answers here.
Uh-oh.
All right. So pick a hero. Okay?
Okay.
Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Yoda, Rey, Leia Organa, Han Solo, Mon Mothma, or Poe Dameron.
I have to say Luke.
Of course.
Of course.
No, I just...
Yeah. What about you? Oh, wait, you're giving me the quiz. That's right.
Yeah, I'm giving you the quiz, and I already clicked it, so...
Ha.
All right, pick a villain.
Vader.
You gonna go with Vader?
Yes.
Sure you don't want Snoke?
Pretty damn sure I don't want Snoke. Yeah.
There's also Grand Moff Tarkin, Emperor Palpatine. Okay, Vader.
Yeah, Vader.
Pick a stormtrooper. Okay.
TK421.
Stormtrooper.
Huh?
Huh?
I said TK421.
It's not on here.
Oh.
So classic stormtrooper, first order stormtrooper, Sith trooper, mud trooper, shore trooper, clone trooper, scout trooper, snow trooper, executioner trooper, or I prefer battle droids.
Scout trooper.
Scout trooper. You're gonna get Return of the Jedi.
Speeder bikes. Heck yeah.
Okay, choose a destination from the galaxy. Gliansam, Alderaan, Coruscant, Geonosis, Naboo, Tatooine, Jakku, Canto Bight, Kijimi, or Hoth. Is it Kijimi or Kijimi? Kijimi? I don't know.
Wow. I'm going to go with Coruscant.
Coruscant.
Something's just making me say Coruscant. I was up in the air between Coruscant and Hoth, but,
okay.
You know, it's kind of like polar opposites, you know, but it's like there's just a lot going on in Coruscant, right? I mean,
yeah. All right. So you need to pick an alien or creature to travel by your side.
Wookiee.
You going with Wookiee?
I got to go with a Wookiee.
You want to hear all of them, though?
Sure, yeah. Of course, we have to for, you know, the sake of everyone listening.
We didn't do the villain.
oh, really? Well, you kind of ran through a few of them, right?
Yeah, I threw a couple others that I'm trying to tempt you with. All right, so you got a Porg, Wookiee, Kowakian monkey lizard, Lothcat, Gungan, Kaminoan, Ewok, Hapabor, Rodian, Eope.
Of those, it's got to be Wookiee. Yes.
All right, pick a color.
A color?
A color. Green, blue, red, purple, pink, yellow, orange, and black.
Green.
Luke fanboy all the way.
Hey.
What's your favorite Star Wars series so far? Star Wars The Clone Wars, Andor, Resistance, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Rebels, The Bad Batch, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Man. Ooh. This is another toss-up for me.
Yeah, this is actually a really good question.
It is. Let me ask you, which two do you believe that I'm considering?
The Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh.
Are you not?
Clone Wars is one of them.
The Mandalorian?
Yeah. Those are the two. I'm up in the air between the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian. And the Mandalorian is kind of like, we don't have that other bookend on it yet. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
So
it's hard to pick one that's still running, right?
That's the thing, right? So I'm gonna have to go with Clone Wars. Yep.
Okay. All right, pick a droid. Gonki, R2D2, RSD4, L337, BB8, BB9E, C3PO, or battle droid?
R2.
Pick a ship. Millennium Falcon, Razor Crest, Star Destroyer, N1 Starfighter, TIE Fighter, X-Wing, A-Wing, Y-Wing, B-Wing, Jedi Starfighter.
Again, I'm struggling between two.
Can I guess where you're struggling?
Yeah, go ahead.
Millennium Falcon, X-Wing?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to go with Millennium Falcon, though. I mean, it's the hot rod of Star Wars, right?
All right, final question. Choose an outfit. Jedi robes, Alderaan royalty, Chandrilan chic, Hoth fatigues, Forest camouflage, Sith armor, Naboo gown, Corellian streetwear, Stormtrooper armor, Sith trooper armor.
I think we're going to go with Endor fatigues. All right, that was one of them.
It was Hoth fatigues.
Hoth fatigues?
Or Forest camo.
There we go. Yeah. What they wore on Endor, right?
Yep.
Right, that.
All right, what one do you think you got?
What one?
What film do you think you got?
Oh, as far as which one to watch?
Yep.
Probably Return of the Jedi.
It was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It says, you should watch Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Of course.
Your thoughts betray you. It's time to watch episode 6.
Maybe I will.
Or test your knowledge and see if you can guess the Star Wars movie from the quote. So it's another quiz.
Oh, God.
Oh, their quizzes are an endless loop, dude.
That's wonderful.
If you do a quiz, you could just get another one.
Nice. You are rewarded with another. Yeah.
It's funny. I said you were going to get Return of the Jedi on question 3.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I mean, that's the purpose, though.
I was going to say I'm not going to apologize for it because
you shouldn't.
It's yeah, it's what I like.
I mean, I feel like I would have confused them.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
How so?
Oh, because I would have been all over prequels and OT.
Gotcha.
And quite a few of those, I was looking at some prequel stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm picking that. So,
I like it though. This is good.
Yeah, it was good. It's cool. I like the variety of answer.
Right.
In this one, instead of, I feel like in a lot of their quizzes, they're kind of like, I feel like they're kind of bottlenecking you into what they want you to.
Yes.
Because you get 3 answers or 4 answers. This one, you had 10 things to choose from on each thing. So
right.
I like that. I feel like you're going to get a more accurate representation of what movie's going to have most of the elements that you want to see.
Yeah, true. One thing's for sure is nobody's going to want a Porg as a co-pilot. So, just saying.
It was a traveling companion, though, not a co-pilot.
Whatever. I mean, you got to travel, so I'm assuming a ship, but whatever.
I mean, it's not like they beam you places or some crap like that.
Right. True. Oh, that's too funny.
All right. So I feel like one thing we got to kind of address here is there's a lot of the Star Wars media outlets and stuff talking about this rift between Jon Favreau and I guess it's their favorite target, right? Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
So I've seen some try to be diplomatic and label it as Lucasfilm, but we know what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Although, to dig a little deeper into that, not dig, but when they say Lucasfilm, some have put it like that there's like two factions of employees there. You know what I'm saying? You have like the Favreau faction and the Kennedy faction. Yeah. You know,
I've also seen it labeled as like Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm, like there's a different one.
Exactly. Yeah. And for the record, this is something, yes, we've heard about for a little bit here, but we've just kind of
made mention of
stayed away because it's one of those things that, you know, it casts a shadow on this thing that we like, right? And
right. But I think it's coming up enough now.
It's kind of hitting a fever pitch a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. The one thing that has made me keep pushing it off and avoid talking about it is, as far as major news outlets, it's not really hitting those.
Right.
But it has started to hit some outlets that have in the past kind of been on the right track.
Yeah, had credible stories in the past. Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to say it like that, because a lot of the places I've seen stuff, they've had credible stuff. But they're not one that I would say hits the nail on the head all that often.
Right.
They like to sensationalize, right?
Totally.
There is a large portion of Star Wars media that is total fan the flames kind of deal, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Likes to always be sky is falling, right?
Yes, and there are a couple that just make shit up. Let's be honest.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But this is spread out, I think, wide enough to where it's like, okay, let's at least discuss.
Right. This is the smoke, right? We're seeing some smoke.
Right.
So there might be a fire over there. We don't know, right? That sort of thing.
Right. I mean, so I'd venture to say, without a doubt, there is at least a bit of a rift about something. You know, whether it's a rift between total creative direction or anything like that, I can't say.
Right.
But there was definitely a sticking point about at least a particular matter.
Yes. So the most recent major one that I've been hearing about is Grogu.
Yes.
So the idea is that Favreau did not want to bring him back to The Mandalorian for season 3. Kathleen Kennedy insisted, is what I've heard. So it's like, okay, you know, I mean.
Well, I mean, it definitely felt that way, right? Like,
yes.
It goes off with Luke, right?
Yes.
Like, why? Why send him off with Luke if you're just going to interrupt the Book of Boba Fett?
Right.
To bring him back for season 3. Why the hell would you do that? that when it happened seemed like an odd choice to me.
Yeah. It was odd. I mean, as we were going through and seeing all this, I was like, you know, sitting there digging it, watching it as it was going on. But, you know, when you sit back after it's all played out and you're like, that was a little weird, you know, but I get it, you know, I don't know.
I do find it odd that, like, one, it's kind of a thing where Grogu kind of seemed to want it.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
And then all of a sudden doesn't. And for a creature that spends 50 years not learning how to talk,
right?
I feel like the 3 or 4 weeks that he spends with Luke Skywalker was not enough time to make a decision.
Well, that was a whole nother sticking point. This is something that people have been pointing out for, which faction are you aligned with? Because in interviews recently, Jon Favreau has been cited as saying, because people are asking, how long was Grogu with Luke? And he's been cited as saying things like, well, I'd like to think of it as, kind of like our timeline, right? At the end of season 2, when that aired, he goes off with Luke. About a year later, Mando shows up with the chainmail shirt, takes back off, and start of season 3, he's back, and it's like, wow, that's like a couple years. Yet, this book that recently came out called Star Wars Timelines says all of those events happened in the year 9 ABY.
Okay, so my 3 weeks comment makes more sense.
It's like, okay, all of those events happened in that 1 year, but then you have Favreau saying he'd like to think there's, somewhere between 0 and 2 years. So where's the disconnect? This is just, it could be as simple as Favreau's just not as attuned to the Star Wars timeline that we all are, clearly.
Either that or he wants to make it sound better.
Right.
He thinks it's ridiculous.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you need a little time.
Because he's got to put selling toys above story.
He does?
Well, he's being pushed to.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
I was saying it sarcastic.
Okay, good. Because yes, I believe that probably had something to do with this. If there's anybody who's going to be driven by story, it's Favreau, and Kennedy's looking at numbers. We can sell a lot of this Grogu toy stuff, stickers and whatever.
If you came out with a movie, you'd have other toys to sell.
There is that, isn't there?
I mean, you had one on the block that would have been great for that, with a bunch of ships. One by the name of Rogue Squadron.
Right. I mean, let's see. We had Kevin Feige, Patty Jenkins, Ryan Johnson's trilogy, Taika Waititi's picture. I'm reading from a little list they have here. It's like a lot of stuff that has been announced. What was it? Benioff and Weiss. A lot of starts and stops with the films here that, the fans are almost getting beaten down with, this is what we're doing. No, we're not. We're getting the rug pulled out of us, out from underneath us left and right.
Well, I think you're seeing that with the most recent announcements. There's just not a whole lot of excitement.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because people are like, yeah, whatever. I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
When I'm standing in line, I'll get excited. Why get excited before that?
The latest one here is Damon Lindelof, right? To quote him, he was like, I was in more than talks to join the Star Wars universe. I joined the Star Wars universe and was asked to leave. So it's like, I don't know what's going on there, but my God, they got to get this stuff straight. Yes. I mean, so when it comes to just those are things that we know for a fact have happened, right? A lot of announcements, a lot of rolling it back. So when there's speculation that something could have been going wrong with Jon Favreau, and some people believe
let me get my magic 8-ball.
Yeah.
All signs point to yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Something. And some people are speculating that this goes all the way back to, the handling of Gina Carano. It's like, who knows? I'm sure that back at that point when all that went down, Jon Favreau had stories in mind, right? There was the Rangers of the New Republic, which was going to happen that didn't, and I'm sure he had a direction he was going with that, and all of that just got shelved, boom, in an instant. So it's
let me ask this then.
Uh-huh.
Are they just scared?
Who?
This Lucasfilm. So Kathleen Kennedy. Is she just scared at this point? Like, oh, don't take Grogu out. That's different. We can't do different. This has been working. Leave that there.
I'm gonna say yeah.
They keep shelving all these shows. They're firing people. They're obviously they had to have gotten at least some treatments or something along the way here. Are they looking at that going, no, that's going to cause too much backlash? Like, are they just scared of backlash and like afraid of doing anything new?
Here,
I bring that up because you bring up the Gina Carano thing, right?
Yeah.
And Rangers of the New Republic. You're going to cancel a whole show,
right?
Like, okay, whatever you think about the Gina Carano thing, not just you, but anyone listening, one way or the other, pro the dismissal or totally against the dismissal,
right?
Put that aside for a second. Hear me out.
Yep. Go.
You got a show, Rangers of the New Republic. It includes this character, Cara Dune. You like the story. Do you recast this character and move forward because, damn it, it's a good story?
Right.
Or do you just kill it because you lose a person involved?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. To me, it sounds like a waste of money to develop this thing and to like this thing and to have good plans for this thing and then kill it because you have to get rid of someone.
Right.
That's just dumb to me.
It is dumb. I would have to think there has to be some level of production in play in order for them to announce it the way they did. And
I mean, my point is, like, can you not find one person out there and all the actors on the planet, can you not find a single person that can pull that role off and make it work?
Most certainly. Someone could.
Someone could.
Yeah.
I mean, go over to The Witcher right now, right? Look at The Witcher. Henry Cavill, just season 3 is coming out, right? I believe it's season 3.
Yeah, isn't it? Is it out? I don't know.
It might be out by now.
It might be out, yeah.
But they're recasting.
Nice.
Henry Cavill's leaving. They're recasting for Geralt.
Wow.
And I'm going to be completely honest. Liam Hemsworth does not look anything like Henry Cavill.
Is that who it's going to take over?
It's Liam Hemsworth.
Okay.
So, but they got a lot invested here.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah,
someone
true.
leaves, you can't just shelve something.
Exactly.
Take a chance.
That's funny because, I mean, no matter how you slice it, I think you're going to end up with, like, so we had a long-haired Superman, and then we're going to go, I understand it's not him, but everyone's going to associate it with Thor, probably.
That was Chris Hemsworth.
I know. That's what I said. I know it's not him, but everyone's going to associate him with Thor. It's
So
I mean,
I don't.
If he has the long hair, right?
I mean, he's gonna have to.
Right.
You see Geralt with short hair, it's gonna be weird.
That'd be weird. Yeah.
So, but my point is, like, why shelve something like that? Especially since you're building this Mandoverse.
Right. And those.
And you know what? I enjoyed watching Book of Boba Fett. But so far, your only expansion in the Mandoverse is the Book of Boba Fett. And it's pretty empty.
Right.
So, you needed Rangers of the New Republic. Because, okay, you're going to have Ahsoka. Ahsoka's going to be meaty, but it's going to be meaty in another direction.
Exactly.
Because it looks like it's very much going to expand on
Rebels.
Yes.
Agreed.
So, yeah, you're going to have spillover. But, I don't know. I feel like you needed this Rangers of the New Republic thing to go and work into this feature film that's going to be this Mandoverse culmination. Unless Book of Boba Fett Season 2, which they still haven't announced.
Right.
Unless that happens and it ends up being like, you know, I don't want to use the word meaty again, but meaty.
Well, all of this to me sounds like it's business decisions driving story, which in my opinion is completely backwards. Right? You need to have the story, the good stories, drive your business decisions. Because that's what, hate to take it all the way back, but episode 4 was taking a huge risk. George, mortgaged his life on this movie. And it's part of the reason why it was so great. It was taking a huge risk. It was doing a style of storytelling that nobody was doing at the time.
Yeah, and even your big studio that, was backing it, they were ready to pull the plug.
Absolutely. And I think you are correct when you say what it looks like they are doing right now is trying to play it safe. Right? Everybody thinks that, Baby Yoda's so cute. Absolutely. I laugh, when he's driving IG-12 around saying yes, yes, yes. I laugh.
Yeah, it makes me chuckle.
But it's not deep Star Wars lore, right? It's
and
surface dressing or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the thing I would say, if Favreau truly has that stance that he didn't want Grogu around for Season 3, think about Season 3's impact if you don't have that. If you're not telling that Grogu story. This is a much weightier season.
If he's not around.
If he's not around.
I agree. I think a lot of fans agree.
I guess the thing for me is there was so much comedic relief coming from Grogu this season that at times it almost felt disjointed, unnecessary.
Yes.
Distracting.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you have this battle with him and the Praetorian Guards, which still, I don't know. But
yeah, I know.
But he has to come in and go, no.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're taking a moment that was this epic fight. Okay, he's losing. I get that. You're setting that up for him to come in and save the day. But did you have to put the comedic portion in there?
Right.
Like, if he comes in and says no once, that's not comedy. That's him saving the day.
Exactly.
It's him taking a serious role. But no, he's got to hammer it a few times. And he's got to back away into a room.
Yeah.
By himself, and then run around and on the top with them trying to cut at him.
Right.
With him flipping around. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. But, like, if I'm... At the same time, I'm like, you have the one serious moment this season. And then you're doing this. I mean, are we in comedy territory now? Like,
that right there is some of the secret sauce of Star Wars that I think a lot of people who have their spoon in the pot of Star Wars right now are failing to grasp, is how the comedy of Star Wars actually works. You know what I'm saying? It's well placed. It's dry. It's in universe. The characters, it's not funny to them at the time, but watching it from our point of view, it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it needs to be. You know, it's
right. Not slapstick.
Exactly.
And it's getting a little slapsticky.
Exactly. That's the part that's killing me a little bit with it. It's trying too hard. And I think it's the money driving the story, right? I mean, you know, Disney Lucasfilm is the money, and I think they're trying to dictate a little bit too much of where these stories go and how they play out. You know, you gotta leave this stuff to the creatives. You hire the creatives, you get the people in there you want to make this stuff. They have some excellent people in place, you know. Right. I just you got to let them do their job. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And then, like I said, they're also letting fear. I don't know if it's fear of failure or fear of upsetting people or.
I'm talking about the money, right?
Right.
You have the money. What are you afraid of? Losing it, right? It's become a thing where you no longer have someone, like I said, mortgaging their life on this project. No. We have to make a profit off of this. That's what you have now. And that's I don't know. It's tough to swallow being such a long-term fan as I have, but you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what I'm seeing. That's my point of view of it going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because that's why we're not in that position.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're like, oh, yeah. Tell your story, whatever.
Yes. So,
That's
yeah. Right. Now that we've cast the shadow on Star Wars again. So these you know, rumors and speculations, they always get so dark, and it's always so
it does. And that's why we always put it off.
Exactly.
We do it once.
Right.
It's enough for us.
Yes.
You know, we want to enjoy this stuff. I guess the reason why it always ends up coming in is because I wish they would understand we want to enjoy this stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, God.
And we want to enjoy the stuff in a sense that it's not just there for announcements.
Right.
Oh, so you can fill celebration or
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here. Disney Plus is great. Star Wars shows are great. It's great having them.
Yep.
Star Wars plays best in the theater.
There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. Even the Star Wars that we look back on with, I won't say dislike or anything like that, but with less favorable opinions.
Right.
It's kind of diplomatic, I guess. I wouldn't trade that experience of seeing that film in theaters for anything.
Oh, I agree.
I would not take back the Last Jedi experience, right?
No, I'm with you.
The excitement leading up to it, all that, sometimes, look, you can't strike gold every time. And we got to understand that as Star Wars fans,
Sure.
And I think every generation of Star Wars fan has had that. There are certain OT fans out there, right? That they had their moment first in the 90s, early 2000s. They weren't happy. There were a lot that were. And I think it's the same for the sequels, right? There's a lot of the OT, PT fans that weren't happy when the sequels got here. There were a lot that were.
I would say most of them weren't happy once the sequels wrapped. That's.
I mean, they just, when you got the speculation that you can kind of explain it away in your head, like, oh no, this is going to make sense after this.
Yep.
And then the end gets here and you're like, what the hell?
Exactly. Well, it's something I was going to say in reference to what you were saying a moment ago about, you wouldn't trade the experience for anything. I totally agree. I've been saying it ever since we've been doing this podcast, that walking out of The Last Jedi, I said, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Right.
And those thoughts developed as time went on, but that is how I felt leaving the theater, and that's okay. But it didn't necessarily improve from there.
No.
So,
but we're not all going to like all of it.
No.
And I don't know if that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hit the one that everybody likes.
Well,
I mean, if that's the case, I think you need to hire George Lucas.
Yeah, exactly. I think they might be shooting for that, but no one's hitting on it.
They're not even releasing it, so
yeah, I know. It's like when they get some story treatments penned out, maybe they look at them and go, "Oh, nope, that ain't gonna work. Fired." I mean, I can only imagine that's what's going on, something like that. But you are never going to make something at this point, I don't think, that everybody's going to love. Because, we've talked about the divides in fandom. It's like, look, yeah, you're just going to end up having to make different Star Wars, for different Star Wars fandoms. What it boils down to.
One thing you got to look at, I recently finished up Light and Magic.
Yeah.
Right? I think, one of the things to look at in that is how many scenes in Star Wars that are iconic. right?
Yep.
And you look at how those came about, and some of them are straight up accidents. Or adjustments because they couldn't do what they wanted to do initially, and they had to readjust just to get it shot.
Yep.
Like, I mean, how famous is that escape pod scene, right?
Right.
The launching of the escape pod.
Right. Yeah, don't bother shooting it. There's no life forms on board. Yeah. That one.
I mean, you see that in trailers for stuff, and like it's a scene that's used for, montages.
Yeah.
Go watch Light and Magic and look at it, what George Lucas thought of that scene, and like it was one of the first ones shot, and it wasn't even done well.
Right.
Like it was just thrown together. So. You gotta take chances. You gotta understand that these things are gonna adapt on the fly. So, yeah, can't expect perfection when you're just looking at the paper to begin with.
Right. And yeah, you'll never hit on that lightning in a bottle again if you throw out the project before it ever becomes anything.
Right. Look at this, philosophy like and shit. So, but yeah, it's just theater. That's where the magic is.
Absolutely.
And, especially after the last few years, we're all looking for a reason to go back.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't been back. I haven't been in a theater since the pandemic began.
Wow.
So.
I've actually been twice recently, so,
Huh. But were those the first couple times that you went since then?
Maybe. I can't recall, to be honest.
I mean, I just went and saw a Broadway show. That was my first theater experience. I understand it's different theater, but
yeah,
that was my first theater experience since the pandemic. So I need a reason to go back.
Right.
And there have been none. There has been nothing coming to theaters that I've been like, wow, I got to go see that.
I will say for me, the instances where I've gone these couple times, one was for something someone else wanted to see, and one was for kind of something just to do. So, yeah, there is that.
I mean, there was only one film recently that really I wanted to go see. And it's not even that recent. It was a year ago. Something like that. When did Dune come out?
Oh, I don't know. It was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Dune was the only one since the pandemic where I'm like, oh, I got to go see that.
Huh.
Didn't make it, but.
Okay.
But that's it. No one's making anything that's grabbing me to go to the theaters.
Right.
So. Star Wars could be capitalizing on that, just saying.
I totally agree. If they're willing to take the chances, they've got to stick their neck out a little bit. If they want the big reward, they have got to take the big risk.
I mean, it's 2023, right? Right now.
Yeah.
2024 was supposed to be our first one, right?
Yeah, was. Yeah.
Yeah, was. Considering nothing's shooting now.
Right.
Coming up on, can you believe this shit? Coming up on mid-2023.
Yep.
Nothing is shooting for Star Wars in theaters. This is a big fail and a big miss.
Agreed.
I understand you got Disney Plus, and it's great, but it's not gonna scratch the Star Wars itch forever.
Right.
Star Wars is big in the theater. There's nothing like it. So let's make it happen. Damn it. Well, all right. If you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. But we're also on social media, @thewarsandmore on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think we've about covered it.
All right. We will talk next week.